Namaste. Today we will see what Bhagavad Gita says on true knowledge. It's a very important thing. All of us ask this. What is true knowledge about? There is this whole existence spread out before us. What is knowledge? Is it the knowledge of the external or is it the knowledge of our own true being? What is considered to be the highest knowledge and why? So let us see Bhagavad Gita's take on this. If you go to chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga, there you will find the description of true knowledge. The Lord Krishna says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi, which means know me to be the indweller in all beings. Kshetrajnam. See, kshetra means the body. Kshetrajna is the knower of that body, who's the indwelling self. And know me to be that indwelling self in all beings, the Lord is saying. So, this knowledge of the indweller and the dwelling and their connection, this is true knowledge. He says, Kshetra Kshetrajnayor jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. So you see, usually we have knowledge of the body. That is what is called medical science actually. You have the knowledge, some knowledge of the mind, the psychological sciences. But what is this knowledge of the self? Who is the Kshetrajna? This is what is being scrutinized. All these scriptures, whether you say the Upanishads or the Yoga Sutras, they are all trying to track this. What is the core truth about the human personality and why is this knowledge important? Because it is important because, if you know everything about the external world, which is all the physical sciences, if you know everything about it and you don't know anything about yourself, what is the point? Who is it who's knowing? Whose knowledge is it? So that is why this self-knowledge, you can say it is a special fort of these sciences, the spiritual sciences. And here, this is described as true knowledge. That knowledge by which you know the nature of the self, which is embodied, which is in this body-mind complex, as it were. It is, wrong even to say it is in this body-mind complex because actually speaking, your body and mind are in your awareness. Check this out and see. I'm giving you a strong Vedantic clue. Do you find the body in your awareness or awareness in your body? Check this out and see right now. You will always find the body in your awareness. It is in your awareness that you find a body, that you identify with a body. It is in your awareness through a thought process that you get strongly identified with it. Isn't it? So this is what they are telling us, that your awareness, the indwelling soul, the Atman, is the fundamental truth about you. You are always self-aware, that is why. And you are occasionally sort of identified with a body-mind complex, but you have assumed you are only the body and mind. So this knowledge of the eternal self, which you are, this is called the supreme knowledge, the true knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita. And the entire insistence or emphasis is on getting this knowledge in the first person, which means first hand. Not through a book, not through some teacher, but to experience it for oneself. And the Lord says that I am that indwelling soul in all beings. That is, you see, this is the real nature of God, the real nature of Ishvara. That He is the indwelling self in all beings. So this you will find in the next verse which we will study here from the same chapter 13th. He says, Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam bhuta bhartri cha tadneyam grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. It means to say, Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu. There is one undivided principle in all the beings who appear to be different. There is something which is non-different. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu, in all beings. Undifferentiated. vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. It appears to be differentiated because we appear to be individuals, separate individuals. So what is that thing? Bhuta bhartri cha tadneyam grasishnu prabhavishnu cha. That one is actually speaking for all beings, he is the creator, the preserver, the sustainer, and the destroyer of all beings. It is the Lord himself who dwells in your heart as the self, as the Atman. In so many ways, Lord Krishna gives this grand idea. You see, just grasping this intellectually also is so liberating. The self within us is nothing but a spark of that ultimate divine Ishvara himself. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Sthitaha, he will tell us later on. Which means, O Gudakesha, O Arjuna, I am the Atman which dwells within all beings. The I, when you say I, that pure I, which is untouched by anything material, which is eternal, which ever exists, which is of the nature of pure awareness, that Atman itself is nothing but Ishvara. It's a spark of the Supreme Lord. So this is what he's saying. Avibhaktam cha bhuteshu vibhaktam iva cha sthitam. I appear to be different in different beings, but it is not so. But I am that creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the universe only, dwelling in all beings as the self. Jyotisham api tad jyoti stamasa paramuchyate jnanam gneyam jnanagamyam hridi sarvasya vishtitam. I am that Jyotisham api tad jyoti. I am the light of all lights. Here by light is meant the light of awareness. The core truth of your being is pure awareness. The Lord is saying, I am that awareness. I am the Atman. I am that Param, the highest. And knowledge, the knower of that knowledge and the object of that knowledge is verily me, who resides in the heart of all beings. See, if you actually try to see how you know something, you will see there is this tripartite distinction of the knower, the subject, a method of knowledge, and the known or the object. The Lord says it is in awareness only that this happens, and that awareness is verily me. I am that consciousness that resides in all beings. So please understand what he is trying to say is the core truth about you is divine. You are of the nature of divinity. Don't get simply identified or don't assume something material to be yourself, and don't give yourself up to mere a material life. It will reduce to a mere animal life. If you want to lift yourself, understand that the core principle about you, the core truth about your being, that itself is divine. That itself is of the nature of God. It is pure consciousness. It is Brahman. And that this is your real identity. So when you actually grasp this in the first person, in real experience, you will see body and mind appear in your awareness, and through a process of thought, you are identified with them. But your real nature, with or without thought, is always pure awareness. You don't have to think your way even into this, because this is your very nature. You are always self-aware, occasionally identified with body through a thought process. So by default, and you are aware, but by choice you get identified with something. So this is to be grasped. This is true knowledge according to Bhagavad Gita, because it is knowledge of your own being. The more we practice, the more we will see how obvious this is. And the less you practice, the more clouded the intelligence will become, the more hijacked by your emotions and hormones, and the more you will feel that this knowledge is something very philosophical and, well, can't connect with it. It is only practice and clarity of mind that brings this knowledge. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.